There's a tough valley.
It's just too easy. What do we need to do here? Just nod in agreement, or do we need to do a motion?
I think just approval is fine in this case.
So everybody approves?
Yes.
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 Tyler, you didn't move your head.
Yeah.
Right, yes, so everybody's okay with that. Good for that. Okay. Next is the question of the mosquito control activities. This is the thing that we get annually. They, for the chosen freeholders, ask that we acknowledge that they're doing this. We have all the time. We have consistently approved that. I'm not sure if there's anybody in the council has a question.
You do this by area? Where?
Yeah, area.
Over the whole town?
No,
No.
Mostly on the county, like
Parks.
county parks.
Oh, okay.
Go Island and those
Gotcha.
kind of areas.
And I know as before, it's like,
All right.
it's safe. It's safe. As safe as can be.
It's as safe as things that kill people can, not
Yes.
people, but
You always
No.
get, you
organisms.
always get the, what is that?
The mosquitoes are
Mosquitoes,
dangerous too, though,
exactly, there you
yes.
go.
6 of one, handfuls of the other.
Yeah. Okay.
Jeff asked that you just pass a motion if you are in agreement so that the mayor can sign it.
Okay, so I would ask for a motion authorizing the mayor to sign the authorization request for the authorization for aerial mosquito control form that's attached to in the agenda. Send a motion from someone.
So moved.
Okay, a second.
Second.
You just do a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Sorry, mosquitoes. Okay, now, Jim, you gonna talk to us about this, the Rincocas Creek Greenway?
Yeah, we definitely had this on before for discussion, and honestly, I don't think much has changed since we last time we talked about it. I think the point was that, you know, we did get an update from Matt Johnson in the county planning office that, you know, the plans are moving forward to being finalized. They're seeking federal approval, because I believe it's federal money they're getting from, and that they anticipate to have that around the summertime, and then, you know, with the authorization to advertise their project, you know, closer towards the end of the year. In fact, he said, we're hopeful for construction could start in the fall of 2018. I think he's a little aggressive on that, but either way, you know, it's, you know, looks like it's gonna be within the next year or so, rather than, you know, next 4 or 5 years.
Right.
They are still proposing to modify the curb line from Norman to about halfway up to Stewart. Definitely from Norman to Alden, and then from halfway between Alden and Stewart. And that segment is complete resurface and no reconstruction as needed. I'll talk to Matt to see if we can get him to extend the pavements a little bit. But yeah, so we do have concept plans. I can probably, maybe that's something else that's also good for the website to put them on there so people know what's going on. You kind of get a look and see what it looks like into the island, Amico Island, what they're proposing to do. It wasn't clear whether or not they're doing the driveway and everything into Amico Island at this time. I'll get clarification on that. But really, it's just a kind of a progress status update. That's what we have it on.
So this would leave us absolutely, you know, this absolutely means that holding Norman off until next year.
It means
makes
absolutely
absolute
leaving
sense.
River off. You know, but you know, if you're going to do, you're not going to do River. There is some work being done at the end of Norman, so
Right.
you want to hold that off.
You know, if they're gonna do a new road, then it wouldn't make sense for us to do the road adjacent to that road and then have them chew up what we did. Let's just see what they'll do.
That's what I meant. You know, yeah, you don't want to do Norman now, and you're still going to do Norman because they're not doing that much to it. But you don't want to do it now, and then they come in and do all this work, and then you're the one that, you know, has your new road being driven
Waste
over.
money, yeah.
Do you foresee any cost or burden on the township at all with them doing this at all?
No, I mean, you do have to do a no parking ordinance, but that's about
Other
it.
than that?
Yeah, no, I mean, they haven't asked you for any money, so
That's what I'm
But
saying.
no parking ordinance?
no parking. Yeah, there's, the parking will have to be restricted. We talked about this last time.
That's what
Parking is
I'm
gonna be,
saying.
have to be restricted between Alden, between Norman and halfway between Alden and Stewart, but there's limited frontage over there and limited cars parked, we didn't think it was an issue.
The other thing is, if you could, for our site, can you get it, see if you can get a clear, like, plan, like, so that people can understand it, they're not gonna understand it by ear, I don't think at all. Is there any way we can get something to look a little bit better?
I'll talk to them about that, see if there's something that we can get.
Yeah,
that's more.
see, it's just to let the people in our town know it's coming.
And how far is this gonna, when it's finished, be?
The entire trail?
Yeah.
You want to go out to
Oh, it
Smithville
goes-
Mansion.
Yeah.
Europe. And someone.
I used to work.
Yeah, I got to pull out the full, the
They
original plans, but it's
reconstructed
far,
all
it's
Yeah.
miles.
Okay.
This is a bike path, right?
Yes.
It's biking and hiking, right? It's for both. isn't
Yeah, it's
it?
shared.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's awesome. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Okay, the next item really is a pretty simple one. It's, Jeff has requested that we give him the okay to do a shared service agreement with Gloucester City that allows us to have kind of a backup for the brine mixture,
We actually already went out to them once.
to use them. Okay. That surely makes sense, then it's something that we'll need, and
Yeah.
it seems to be a good.
So we get our own machine, we need to get our own machine. That's coming
I
next.
thought we had a brine machine.
No.
But we have.
No, I'm talking about a,
Tank.
Brian tank.
Yeah.
We have a
That was
machine.
what
Wait. Say again, Jamie?
This is to purchase the brine, the
Right.
actual material.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the future, we need to buy it
Once
and
they-
have it ourselves.
Right, so they have a tank that we're just tapping into.
Correct.
All right.
That's what I
So
meant.
we
So-
purchased it from Billing Road, this would be a backup
Right.
to,
Do-
in
Gotta
case
have a
theirs
backup.
went down and we
And
needed to
they
purchase
did.
it elsewhere.
They did. Willing Road
It
did go down,
and
and
we
that's
needed,
why.
that's
Yeah, I
why
remember
we
Jerry
already
telling
did
us
it.
about that. He was
Yeah.
worried that we.
And we had very, very little to use.
Yeah,
when
and
we
that's
were-
why, like you said, we already had to use them because there was an emergency. Theirs went down and they couldn't make enough to supply it to the towns that needed it. So we had to use them as our backup.
And
So
they were
this
very
was just
cooperative.
sign
They were
this
very-
agreement so that we
Great,
have them
awesome.
in place.
Do we need to do anything?
We need a motion.
We need
Okay.
a resolution.
We
to
need a
authorize the,
resolution.
I mean, we could
Is
do
that
it.
this that's attached?
Well, this is the agreement,
Agreement?
this is the shared services agreement, so we would just need a resolution to authorize the execution of the shared
Can we
services.
do so, can we do that tonight? Or do we
Have
need?
you had a chance to look at it, or do you want, we could do it at the public meeting, I guess, if you guys haven't really had a chance to review
Yeah,
it.
we're a week away? 2 weeks?
No, we could do a walk-on resolution.
Okay, as long as you get paid, as long as you get paid.
Yeah, it's fine to do a walk-on resolution.
Yeah, because we're 2 weeks out.
So I don't wanna wait
No,
too long.
yeah, because the weather, with this crazy winter. All right, so,
What resolution?
I need it,
2018-26.
26? So I need someone to walk on a resolution, 2018-26, that would authorize the, doing a shared service agreement with Gloucester City for, as a backup plan for our brine supplier.
Make the proposed resolution 2018-26 to join an agreement with Gloucester Township, or Gloucester City.
I said, I don't.
Second.
Voice vote or roll call?
Roll call.
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mrs. Flode?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Cattringer?
Aye. Okay. Next is Jim giving us the specs for the power conditioning so that we can authorize him to go out,
To advertise.
advertise.
Yeah, I think it was,
Yes, please.
I think it was the last year's budget, you budgeted for, we've been talked about this for a while. There was a firm that approached you with these devices that they offer, that when installed at, certain facilities, it has a big improvement on the electric power service. And want to go into specifics, because it is a little bit complicated. But bottom line is, what they're guaranteeing is by using these devices, you will see, a reduction in your energy consumption, and which equates to, your energy costs. Most notably at the sewer treatment plant, where one of your biggest cost factors is energy and the electric bill. They did an audit of the facility. They came back with what they can produce, and they gave us sample specs. And what you do is you buy these boxes from them, and then have your electrician install them, and they guarantee over the next 5 years there's a percentage, and in the way the specs are written, they're guaranteeing 8% reduction in energy costs over the next 5 years, and there's language in there that that ensures that. They gave us a list of references. We rechecked all of them, and basically everything we got back was, we were skeptical at first, but we were nothing but happy and pleased with what these devices provided. Not only did they meet the guarantees, that they went above and beyond the guarantees. Some of the references we checked was the Camden County MUA Municipal Maintenance Company. That's actually your electrician for the sewer treatment plant, your on-call electrician. They installed it in Cinnaminson, and they installed it in Medford. And I spoke to the Medford plant operator. No, I spoke to Mike, who runs Medford, and he says that he was surprised. He wasn't quite sure at first, but then it definitely seen the streamlined electrical flow, and that some of the things that they're concerned about, about them failing under certain conditions didn't happen, and that he didn't have precise percentage reduction in energy costs, but he knew it was definitely a big improvement. I did talk to Cinnaminson, and the guy, same thing, he's saying they were seeing about 15–16% reductions when they were quoted at 10%. Camden County, same thing. Camden County and Evesham were both seeing about 13% reductions, and they all have about the same number of boxes that they're proposing for us. But at this point, we just have a spec, for an RFP. We have to submit the RFP. Anybody can bid on this, not one specific company. It's not written to any specific company. You can't do that. And then once the spec is out there re-advertised, they'll submit a formal proposal as far as what they want to do, what they want to install, how much it's going to cost, and at that point we'll review it and make a recommendation on award based on who bids.
Or
So,
is there another company that makes this product?
I'm not aware of any.
Okay. Understood.
Jim, there's language in there when we've been looking at this over time about if there's any changes made to, say we did this at the sewer plant.
Mm-hmm. I took their spec and I kind of rewrote it.
Okay.
There's
You
certain.
know where I'm going. that
Yeah, I
avoid
made,
some of
well,
the
right now you're
margins
doing a
or-
disc filter, so
Yeah.
obviously that energy
Yeah.
demand's not on the books yet. So there's clear language in there that, we're gonna have to cut the baseline that we use, the sample period that we're using as your baseline to show that there's energy reductions has to be modified for this disc filter. And you can do that because we know what the energy demand is. And we know that we've been looking into it already. This filter is actually not a large consumption of electric.
Okay.
But, we wrote that in there. We also I changed the wording a little bit in the specifications in the document I sent you about changes at the plant that, if we make changes to the plant, they have a right to be concerned about that and not honor the guarantee. But provided that we review those changes with them and both parties sign off, then, the guarantee will be held.
Okay.
There's other changes I made about, like, if they do not meet the guarantee, it was previously written that they wanted that, we're responsible to take the boxes out and give it to them and give us a refund. I changed that, so, if they don't meet the guarantee, they gotta get their boxes out, and give us a refund, and it's required. There's other language, I feel is more township friendly than it is for this potential vendor.
Okay.
So what I heard you say was that, would it be fair to say that all the people you talked to had a positive?
I didn't have one negative response.
You did?
I did not.
You did not?
Okay. I just want to say one thing. I was skeptical as well. I will tell you, I wasn't supportive of the firm, but by what you're telling me as far as you as our engineer for the town, I trust your evaluations, but, so I'm okay with it, but like I said, I wasn't supporting it.
Okay.
Jim, I know we talked about it before, what's the return on investment on that, the cost of the
I should have had it with me. It's only a few years.
Okay.
If you know what, we're just advertising at this point, but by the time we come back for award, we'll know the actual cost of the boxes. And then I can tell you what the return on investment is based on the cost of the boxes. But it wasn't very long. And I know, and then all these residents are already going out buying more boxes.
Yeah, I remember when we
Yeah.
discussed it before, I think you said under 5 years.
I thought it was under
Yeah.
5, yeah.
But-
They
okay,
guaranteed
thanks.
8% for under 5, and the ROI is less than that.
Okay.
And
Now-
it will certainly
Yeah.
continue, but, you know.
Yeah.
Now,
that's-
why are
that's-
they saying 8% for us and let's say 13% for?
No, they guaranteed 8% for like Evesham, and they guaranteed like Eve's 8% for the CCMUA.
And
But
it
they
went higher.
they realized that it was more,
Oh,
once they had.
okay,
The guy
okay.
from the CCMUA said, we didn't even believe it, and we actually, when they went out and got their own equipment to do their own metering, just to make sure nobody was flubbing the numbers or
Yeah.
the power company's meters wrong, but now they said that even their own measurements showed that they were
Wow.
getting reductions, and they're putting them on all the pump stations now, so.
Good.
And I think it's a bonus too, they have the guy from municipal maintenance installed it at 2 plants already. Medford, he's been running a plant since 1979, so he's well versed with how to put them in and how to work with them. And that's another thing I changed in the specs, is the pay structure, is how, because they kind of want to get paid up front for a little bit of work, and we don't do that. You know, where they have to pay on delivery, and then they have to work with our electrician through full installation and operation before they get full payment.
Okay.
And if they were to have to remove their equipment, do we have to pay, I mean, do we have to pay to remove the equipment?
No, we specified that, you know, their cost for removal, if it doesn't work, is on them. But based on all the revenue, it's highly likely that hopefully that won't happen.
Great.
Can't guarantee anything. I'll work with the solicitor to make sure the contract's ironclad, and, you know, get the references.
So I've supported this from the beginning. We did authorize Jim already in November, but I'd like to have a motion so that there's no question to authorize Jim to go out to advertise for the power conditioning product.
So moved.
Second.
You need a voice vote or roll call?
Mr. Burrell?
Aye.
Mrs. Flowey?
Aye.
Mr. O'Connell?
Aye.
Mr. Metzger?
Aye.
Thanks. The schedule will be the same as the roof. We'll probably have it advertised and then received mid-February, second workshop discussion and more and more.
Good.
Brings it, yeah.
So that completes our agenda. Jamie, do you have anything for us this evening?
Nothing
Tonight? Jim, anything for us tonight?
I just want to say, I have here, actually, I thought Jeff was going to be here, but I have the plan specs and cost estimates for both Pheasant Road, which is CDBG, and then for the Route 130 sidewalks Phase 2. So we're hopefully going to, at the next workshop, we'll seek your authorization to advertise, we've had a chance to review with Jeff. And the sidewalks going to just rely on us to get the DOT permit, which we're ready to apply for. I don't know if anybody, and then the lighting, we'll get the lighting, now we join the co-op, so we'll get that for the spring.
Brian, anything for
Nothing
us
at this
tonight?
time.
All right, let's go around the table. Dan, anything for us tonight?
Unfortunately, we had a couple of break-ins in Summerhill, and one of them was very near to me, about 3 doors away. I spoke with the resident tonight, and I don't know that, you know, we can do anything as a council, but I did speak to Jeff and asked him to look into other towns that have neighborhood watch programs. And then what I thought I might do, and you guys can weigh in on it if you like, is go to our homeowners association, see if there's an interest in something like this. There was quite a bit of chatter about this on Facebook, on various township pages. And I did say to the resident, you know, I've lived here since 1992, and it's been a pretty safe, not only development, but a safe town, and that's due to our police department. And, but having said that, if it was my house that I came home to, it doesn't really matter what the statistics think. So I'll keep you advised, but I was hoping to talk to Jeff, but unfortunately he got ill. Other than that, that's all.
Thanks, Dan. Tyler, anything tonight?
No report.
Patty,
No,
anything
nothing
tonight?
tonight, thanks.
Okay, and I have no report. Ken, you have anything for us?
Yeah, I do also live in Summerhill, and it is a very trying time for, I won't just say those 2 residents, but every resident that lives in Summerhill. It's a lot different now, and they're treating it a lot differently with their homes, with lights and stuff. And I will tell you, and I won't even say just in Summerhill, but this is just my feeling, if you have fences in the back, get padlocks. It does not hurt to have padlocks on your fences, you can always unlock them. Also, just make sure you, everything, you know, your house is nice and secure, and